Hello and welcome everybody to another Power Soccer PDX live stream. In today's video, we're going to be interviewing Franklin Ouchida, who has been with Power Soccer PDX since 2018. He has been a major asset to us and has, over the last year, become our assistant coach, being able to help me out there on the court when I'm not available or just to help out when we're doing trainings and stuff. So Franklin, why don't you introduce yourself and tell me, I guess, a little bit more about yourself. Tell everyone about your disability, and kind of go from there.
Great. I'm Franklin Ouchida. My I live in Portland. I've lived in Portland all my life. Oregon's been something that I really love to stay of. I've gone every place to visit, or lots of places to visit, but never decided to move. So I live about a mile away from where I grew up. Pretty much a hometown boy here. Anyway, I started with my disability. I guess I should say first. My disability is in 2009 during the swine flu vaccination. I got a live nasal spray vaccination. Well, that developed into what they call now is a side effect, which is CIDP, or Guillain-Barré syndrome. I developed that, and it's a nerve demyelinating a disease. What happens is it turns into an autoimmune disease, and your nerves get demyelinated, which is similar to MS, but the mechanism for replenishing the nerve myelin, which is what happens when they're demyelinating, is it pulls off the myelin. So the nerves, so you get paralyzed basically, and I was paralyzed, totally paralyzed for about 6 months, where I couldn't move anything but my neck, my arms and stuff for pretty much. Anyway, I've been taking IVIG, which has actually brought me out of it. I mean, we tried all kinds of things before that, and some things were almost killed me. They were so strong. I mean, plasmapheresis and some of those things.
Yeah, super strong.
They made me
drugs.
even weaker.
Yeah,
they even make me weaker. Yeah. So, and then, steroids and stuff are kind of the common things that they do for this disease. Anyway, I've gotten back a lot of my ability, but from the knees down, I'm still paralyzed. My ankles and feet just don't move. I can move my thigh. My thighs we've gotten stronger, but that kind of stuff. But I was at a point where they were going to intubate me. I mean, I couldn't breathe because my diaphragm wouldn't work correctly because of the disease. And then finally the IVIG kicked in and started getting better slowly. My hands also are affected quite a bit. A lot of the fine muscle movement and stuff is no longer there. I can use them as kind of clubs or claws, so I can do a lot of adaptive stuff with them.
Yeah, but, exactly. There's not any fine motor control kind of stuff.
Exactly. And so, and then you try to do other things, like you use tools to do things. Like pinch is a problem. Like I can't actually pinch my fingers together, which is kind of a bizarre thing. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, just doesn't allow you to happen.
Yeah. So but I can use them as claws, and I use two fingers. I pinch between two fingers instead of my thumb and my forefinger. So you adapt. You know how that is.
Yeah.
So let me tell you the story about how I started with Power Soccer. Was pretty interesting. I came to actually Oregon. The Oregon Spinal Cord Association connection has spinal cord injury connection.
Yeah.
I got to get it right. So
you gotta get that name right.
Doesn't get mad at me. Anyway, so they have this little get together called Wheel Connect, where a bunch of wheelchair people get together and complain about normies. No, they get together and just have fun, and we build relationships, right?
Yeah.
So we got together there, and I met this guy in the strangest costume. He was dressed up in a wine box, if you could believe that. This was Halloween, of course. I guess I should have put that in there. But he was dressed up in this wine box. Anyway, he was a really interesting guy. He said, come to this soccer Power Soccer thing that we get together, and I'm the coach. And I thought, oh, well, maybe I'll come and I'll watch and I'll check it out. anyway, I show up there and he insists that I jump into a chair. I had no idea that I was gonna play. I was just gonna go and watch and see and support him and the wheelchair community. And he got me into the chair, and I got out there, and the kids were having fun. And this one little kid, I think he was 5 years old at the time,
Yeah, he was 5 at the
barely
time.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, barely 5. Anyway, he's a head array, right?
Yeah, he
So
was the header in drive. Yeah.
yeah, which is the controller is you only use your head because he can't really control his hands or his legs, and he's non-verbal. But anyway, he had a plastic guard on, and he was out there playing around, and I was playing around with him too, just we're just playing, hitting the ball around, playing a game. And then he smashes into me, breaks off his guard, and I thought, oh my gosh, what happened to this poor kid? Anyway, he just laughed with the most affectionate laugh that I could imagine. He just really enjoyed himself out there, and he thought it was the funniest thing in the world that I was scared that he had hurt himself. He was just like, and I thought, well, after that, I was just like, and he was fine. He was just having fun. He was being a 5-year-old kid,
Yeah,
and I was
exactly.
like, wow, I've got to help these guys. I mean, if anything I can do and get out there and help them play or whatever I can do, I'll be glad to help them. And so that's how it all started. And then the more I got involved in it, the more
Yeah, the more you
the
kept
more
going.
yeah, the more experience I got, and the more say stuff that we've been doing and stuff, and the more friends I made. So it's kind of a thing. Well, I
Yeah.
was glad to help. And then Ryan is a great guy. I learned a lot from him on how to to I wouldn't say control, but to manage people that have to help you with disabilities. Which
Hmm.
I've been a manager. I've done all kinds of things. I mean, I've done different jobs um, from meat market manager to um, appliance repairman to what else did I do? Oh, I was a jeweler for a while too. So there's
Yeah,
there's
you
a
have
lot
a
of things
pretty
that I've been doing.
extensive job list that you've been able to
It just kind of
accomplish over the
jumps
years
around.
before your
Yeah, I find
disability.
it kind of
Yeah.
yeah, I find some interesting things that I just kind of go from one to another.
And just so
But
people understand too, that this disability is not that old, if I'm correct, right? Like this started. What year did this start? Because up
well,
prior to
2009
this,
was the shot.
it was 2009,
2012
right?
was yeah, 2012 is where I really started to get bad. In 2013, I was um, like 100% quadriplegic, paralyzed for
Hmm.
about 6 months to 8 months, something like that. So
Yeah, which is just a crazy thing to think that the nasal flu shot is what led down this path of you becoming disabled, and you're as an adult is not something that you expected to happen. So you've been yeah, you've dealt with it very well. So and I'm glad that you joined in soccer, that you've been able to take some of the things that I've been able to show you, like you said, working with others and other people with disabilities, and it's been good. So
well, yeah, because if you've never been paralyzed, it's really an odd thing. I mean, it's not something that normal people think. I mean, even being like having a hand or something like that fall asleep or something like that, it is totally different than being paralyzed. And there's a whole different way of controlling, of managing people. I keep saying controlling, which I shouldn't say.
yeah,
Managing
but
people that
managing
want to
people
help you.
that want to help you, exactly, and how to
Yeah,
do it in a way that's positive not only for you, but then also for the people that are helping you.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. And you have to put up borders too. I mean, there's certain things you have to put up that, like to let them know that yes, you are, you need it done a certain way, and
Yeah,
that's one thing that's
that's a tough
hard
thing
to
to do.
explain because you can't show them,
Yeah,
and that's one thing that you have to be verbal,
yeah,
and
communication is
that's
key.
really
I mean, not only is it for, I guess, ourselves and for our care, but even on the court itself. I mean, without communication, your teammates aren't going to work together with you on the court, and you're not going to get the ball. And I mean, it all coincides with each other for sure.
most definitely, yeah.
Well, so I do have not an extensive list of questions, but some questions that I would like to ask you that we've had a chance to ask all of our different athletes. So I'll just go ahead and jump right in here. Um, what is your favorite thing about soccer, and what do you do in your spare time besides soccer? So a little two-part question there. So what's your favorite part about power soccer? We'll start with that.
Let's see. My favorite part about power soccer will be the people. Yeah, the idea of getting out there and really enjoying friends and having a good time. I mean, I'm competitive, but on the other hand, I like the idea of having these friends that go out and meet all the time and really have a good time. I mean, I really think that anybody that comes to soccer and plays it enough, they
Mm-hmm.
really enjoy it. So
Yeah, for sure.
and it has a lot to do with you, Ryan, too, about being doing all kinds of fun things and stuff.
Well, I try to keep everyone I can around me moving and going places, and obviously it's been really hard recently, but we're hopefully getting some new things here in the works that make that a little easier for all of us. So, and what do you do in your spare time besides soccer, Franklin? What else have you been up to since obviously we haven't been having any soccer?
Well, I didn't mention it too. I had a toy store too, so I have a toy store business, and I had a lot of toys, mostly diecast cars and stuff. So I have that collection as well. I started with a kid as a Hot Wheel collector,
Oh, okay.
and I've never really stopped, which is kind of a bizarre thing. But I had a store for a while, and then we had thousands of, almost 100,000 um, toy cars in that toy. So I still have a lot of those that I've kept in my collection and that kind of stuff. So I do have that thing. I also like electronics and stuff, but being around you guys, in my world, I was the top electronic guy, but in your guys' world, I'm just the minuscule
Yeah.
guy that's still trying to learn. And learning is the best. I also love chess. Chess is a great game, and the more people that I can play chess with, I really enjoy that kind of thing.
Okay. Cool. Cool. So that's been keeping you busy and keeping you out of trouble. Then that's always good. So this is our fun, typical Portland question. As a disabled individual, what is your opinion on the paper straw?
It's horrible. It's definitely horrible. It's really bad that and no plastic bags. I mean, with my limited hand ability,
Mm-hmm.
plastic bags are essential. So I have to save plastic bags and bring them with me to the store because they,
Because they're gonna stop selling them. Yeah.
yeah. So you have to put them on and you loop them on and stuff like that. So I ended up bringing them. Not only do I have bags on my wheelchair, I also have to bring extra plastic bags with me. I'm kind of known as the bag man because I bring a lot of bag. I have bags on my wheelchair. I have 2 messenger bags on
Actually,
each side.
even
In the
during
back.
soccer practice, you would show up with at least five. I swear, like 5 bags. You were definitely the
Yeah,
bag man.
because if I don't have a bag, I end up dropping things, right? So,
Yeah.
and then it's a whole new thing trying to get it picked up again, right? I mean, even though I have a very low wheelchair, and I do have a low wheelchair on purpose, it's just difficult,
Still, yeah.
especially with limited hand grips. Now, if I was a paraplegic, I could grab it, because I could easily reach the ground, but I've learned that you have to do is you have to scoot it over and get it underneath your wheel, and then try to tick it, flip it up on your wheel, and then you can bring it up a little bit,
Just to
try
make
to
that
dump
even
it into your
happen.
hand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
speaking of that, if you had an ability to choose one thing that you could do for by yourself that someone has to do for you currently, what would that be?
Hmm. If I could jump into that, it would be solder again.
Okay.
That would be a big thing. So
Okay, so the
yeah,
ability to
because
solder and
I
to do work on some of your radio and
electronics
electronic
and
stuff that you've
yeah,
done before. Okay,
exactly.
good answer. Good
That would be
answer.
a huge thing. That would be nice to have. I mean, because you really can't have somebody do it for you that unless they're skilled at soldering, which just means they're skilled at everything else. So they might as well have them fix it, right? I mean,
Yeah, might as well have them even do it. No
yeah,
reason.
exactly.
Yeah.
Which is really frustrating because you want to do, especially now that I have more time as a disabled person. I
No,
mean, I don't have.
I get it. I've been doing all kinds of electronic projects, and nothing more frustrating than trying to have, trying to not be able to solder yourself. It really makes it a lot more difficult. So, yeah. Um, let's see. What is your favorite soccer team? Do you have a favorite soccer team?
Well, not really. I'm not really that much into sports. I'm more in like I like car racing and stuff like that. I've never been a. I mean, I've gone to basketball games and football games and stuff, and so I guess I would say thorns are my favorite because they're the only ones that I've gone and seen.
Okay.
Some real nice guy invited me to go one time, so I just went and had a
Which,
great time, actually.
yeah, but definitely I miss having the chance to go and check out the Thorns, and but luckily we still have them on TV, so that works. Um, let's see. What's I think we already kind of went over that one. How does it feel when you crash into an opponent? Somebody wants to know.
Actually, it's pretty exhilarating. It's kind of fun. I mean, it's so much fun, especially when nobody gets hurt. I mean, because especially when you're fighting for the ball or something like that, and you get up there, and I mean, because I mean, when Reed crashed into me, and he's crashed into me many times after that, but the first time I was scared to death that he got hurt, and you know, and when you find out that he's fine. I mean, he was as happy as can be.
Yeah, when he's smiling and laughing the whole time after he runs into you, you can't get mad, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it feels great. I mean, it feels great to be able to hit somebody and move them out of the way, or take an advantage, or make a shot that nobody can do it. That's probably most exhilarating, is that shot that gets by somebody, that just sneaks right by them, and that's the funnest part. And these Strike Force chairs are a whole nother level.
Yeah, well, we're going to come to that question kind of next. So, speaking of equipment, Franklin was one of our athletes that was able to receive a Strikeforce chair before the pandemic happened, and we had to stop practicing. So this one might be kind of a strange question for you because you kind of already have what you would need equipment-wise, but what improvement would you want for your equipment? So right now you have the Strikeforce, you've had at least about 3 months of use before we had to stop using it. But what would you improve on the equipment that you would feel would be helpful for you, specifically just you?
A pretty pink guard. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think I'd like to put some cameras on our chairs. I think that if we can videotape how fun it is, that more people will be into it. More people will see that it's just not out there doing things. But yeah, I think the Strikeforce chair is awesome. I mean, it's just a whole nother level. There's so much more skill that's going to be involved in using them. I mean, there's so much more things you can do. And as an assistant coach, it is great because you can actually, spin kick the ball, and you can spin kick the ball into people that can show them how to do things more. So it's very instructive to have one, because you can actually go through the paces and show them what to do with that chair, and it makes it huge. It's a
Yeah,
huge difference.
it's a very good instructional chair that you can actually perform things and do things in that chair that on an everyday chair you just can't do. So it is a night and day difference for sure. So another question here came in. What is your favorite food, Franklin? What's your favorite go-to food?
I like a lot of food, so
Well,
I would
aside
say
popcorn.
steak. I would say steak. Prime
Okay.
rib would be my favorite food, I would think. Yeah.
Okay. And what about your favorite color?
My favorite color is purple, but I wear black. I don't know.
Purple.
Seems
Okay. Okay. So what if we did your soccer guard purple then, just for you? We could maybe do that.
I don't know about that.
You know about that? All right. Um,
I think pink. We should all be pink.
we should
Just
all be
in honor
pink.
of you, in
Okay.
honor of Ryan, we should all be pink.
All right. I think we could definitely put in that request. So at this point in time, if any of you are watching our live stream on Facebook or YouTube, please go ahead and start leaving your comments down below. If any questions you have for Franklin or myself, or anything about Power Soccer, we'll try to do our best to answer those questions. So please feel free to go ahead and start making comments and any type of things you'd want to do in the video comments. And let's see, what other questions we have here for you, Franklin? Um, do you everyone, one of the questions that came in: do you play any video games at all? Like, do you play games at all, like any like Xbox or PlayStation or anything at all like that?
Unfortunately, I don't. As a kid, I loved playing video games, but as I grew up and was too busy to do that kind of stuff, I really didn't do a lot. My kids have had them, but they've really. I had 4 girls, so I didn't have the boys that really wanted to get into video games, and that seems to be, different. But I have watched a lot of Spice Girl videos, that's for sure.
Spice Girl? Oh man, the truth is coming out. Only on the live stream does the truth come out. So, yeah. Um, all right. If money was no object, what kind of car would you drive? It was a good one.
Wow.
I
No
know.
more. A Bugatti, of course.
The
The
Bugatti.
Chiron.
Okay. All
Oh
right.
yeah, I would go for the Chiron. Yeah, the fastest, most expensive car in the world.
And
Six
what
million
and
dollars.
what color would you go for that car?
Oh, I think I
Besides,
would go blue and silver. Blue and
what
silver.
about the purple though? I mean, I thought purple was
Oh
the
yeah, that's
color.
true. That's true. I always wanted a Shelby Shelby Cobra 427. With the
Yep.
blue and white stripe. That was my dream car as a kid.
Okay.
But
And I'm sure you have a lot of those in diecast, right? You got a couple of those.
I don't have a Chiron, but I have a Veron.
Okay, all right. And no, and what about the muscle cars? Any major muscle cars in your collection?
Oh, I love muscle cars. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, of course you'd go for a 1971 Hemi Cuda convertible.
Ah, see, there you go. I knew there was a specific car in there somewhere where you would have very specific. Yeah. Um, Another question is, did you do much video conferencing before this year?
No.
No.
And I've been doing a lot this year. I've been doing Zooms and all things, but no, I didn't do very many video conferences at all. I mean, I've done Zoom and I've done these, and I've set up Zooms for both the let me get this right. I got to say it so everybody knows, the Oregon Spinal Cord Injury Connection.
There
So
you go.
in case you want to Google that and you ever want to come to Wheel Connect, it's the last Monday of every month. So
Nice. And I guess as far as having these Zoom meetings and obviously us not being able to meet in person, I mean, how has that been? Like, how has that affected you? How have you, I guess, handled doing this transition of not seeing each other in person, not seeing your friends in person? How has it been just having to go and do it via, I guess, live streams or even Zoom meetings?
I think it's great. I think Zoom meetings are good. At least it's something. It's not the same as being there with somebody, but it's better than nothing. That's for sure. And it's a lot closer to getting together and meeting with friends. We should do more.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. We definitely need to do more. Does anybody else have any other questions at all for Franklin on YouTube or on Facebook? I can see both comments, so if anybody has any additional comments, please post those now and we'll get those in. So, Franklin, have you always lived in Oregon then? Is this a place
Yep,
that you've
I've
always
always
been?
lived in Oregon.
Okay.
Yep, always lived in Oregon. Like I said, I kind of grew up about a mile away from where I live now. So I've lived in the same house for 35 years.
Wow.
So
Okay. And how was getting the accessibility of that home converted after?
it's horrible actually. It's a two-story split entry house, but I have a stair lift that
Okay.
bring me upstairs. So it was quite an event thing. I never thought about being disabled as when I built a house or
Well, yeah, of course not. Yeah,
things.
it's nothing that
You just
anybody expects to have happen. Exactly.
when you're 23 years old, you never think that you're going to live in the house forever. But yeah.
Very true. Another question just came in. What is your favorite podcast? Are you listening to any podcasts right now? If so, what's your
I would say
fave?
Joe Rogan is my favorite podcast. He
Okay.
just cracks me up. The last one with what is his name? I forgot his name. Anyway, the last one he did was just so. Oh, it had Alex Jones on there with Ken.
I think I heard about that one.
Oh, it was hilarious. And the last one he had with Johnny Bravo was just funny too. With him with Alex Jones, it was hilarious. And I like how he doesn't care what other people think. He just does what he wants, and it's pretty amazing that he can just say, "Hey, everybody flamed him online for having Alex Jones on, and he just went and had him on again." So
yeah, he just doesn't really kind of care. Kind of does his own thing.
The Kanye one, that's what I was thinking too. The Kanye one was very interesting. I like the idea of listening to people that have been extremely successful. And
Gotcha.
Kanye just kind of wishes it to come true, and it makes it come true. I do believe in affirmations, but he's something else.
He's something else, yeah, for sure. Let's check see if we have any other questions here that I missed. Checking the chats. What part of your daily routine bothers you the most? Like
My
something,
daily routine.
yeah, just part of your daily routine that we all have to do. Drag ourselves out of bed or whatnot. Like what's like the one thing of the routines that's like, ah, man.
Oh, the worst for I think for everybody is toilet training.
Yeah,
That's the down and dirty. Especially when you have hands like mine, it's difficult, but you do. I guess you kind of get used to it. But on the other hand, I mean, as an adult, I've never, um, could you say, I've never had my hands get dirty. I'm just trying to do this, and
makes sense.
they do as if you're disabled because you just have to deal with it. But as an adult, you always kind of protect your hands, and you don't have to wear gloves, that kind of thing. And getting gloves on my hands are very difficult. But that kind of stuff has got to be the worst as a disabled person. I mean, other than that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely one of the not so fun things we have to deal with. Let's see. Would you ever? I know you kind of talk about you like podcasts and stuff. Is that something that you'd ever see yourself participating on podcasts, or something you'd ever have interest in?
I think there's this podcast that might be coming. It's called Three Disabled Dudes. That might be very interesting to watch or be
Okay,
part of. I'd be glad to support them in any way.
gotcha. Perfect. Awesome. Well, I don't have any other additional questions. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining us for our bi-weekly live streams that we're interviewing some different athletes. We appreciate um, everybody watching, anybody's questions. We appreciate all of you. And please look forward to us doing this again in 2 weeks. Please check our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and we'll be announcing who we'll be interviewing next. So, like I said, thank you again, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your guys' Saturday. And happy Halloween, everybody. All right,
It is Halloween.
it
Happy
is.
Halloween.
I totally
Bye-bye.
forgot about that. Bye, everybody.
Bye.